All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I am Sarabjit Kaur and with me is V. Ravi Kumar. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to interact with heads of Indian missions abroad along with stakeholders of trade and commerce sector today. Government introduces bill in Lok Sabha to scrap retrospective tax law. India achieves another milestone in COVID-19 vaccination, crosses 49 crore mark. Jammu and Kashmir government launches a new film policy to make the Union Territory a shooting paradise. RBI to announce its bi-monthly monetary policy this morning. India lodges strong protest with Pakistan over violent mob attack on a temple. Haryana government announces 4 crore rupees cash prize and Group A job for Olympic silver medalist Ravi Dahaiya. Women's hockey match between India and Britain underway for bronze medal at Tokyo Games, and wrestler Bajrang Punia to kickstart his Olympics campaign today. As the nationwide free COVID-19 vaccination campaign at government facilities for those above 18 years is going on, we advise our young listeners to get vaccinated and also help others get vaccinated. We also advise our listeners not to lower their guard as COVID-19 remains a threat to our health. Please stay at home unless it is essential to go out and continue to follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki doori for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will interact with heads of Indian missions abroad along with stakeholders of the trade and commerce sector of the country today through video conferencing. The event will make a clarion call by the Prime Minister for local goes global, make in India for the world. Exports have a huge employment generation potential, especially for micro, small and medium enterprise, MSMEs and high labor-intensive sectors, with a cascading effect on the manufacturing sector and the overall economy. The purpose of the interaction is to provide a focused thrust to leverage and expand India's export and its share in the global trade. The interaction aims to energize all stakeholders towards expanding the export potential and utilizing the local capabilities to fulfill the global demand. Union Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal and External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar will also be present during the interaction. The interaction will also witness participation of secretaries of more than 20 departments, state government officials, members of export promotion councils and chambers of commerce. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will interact with the beneficiaries of Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Ann Yojana PMJKAY in Madhya Pradesh tomorrow at 11 a.m. through video conferencing. Madhya Pradesh Governor Mangubhai Patel and Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan will be present on the occasion. The event will also witness participation of ministers and officials of the food sector from Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Tripura, Haryana and Goa. An intensive campaign to create more awareness about the scheme is being conducted by the state government so that no eligible person is left out. The state will celebrate 7th August 2021 as Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Ann Yojana Day. Under PMJKAY, 4.83 crore beneficiaries in Madhya Pradesh are getting free ration from over 25,000 fair price shops. More details from our correspondent.
Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Ann Yojana program will be held at all 25,435 fair price shops in the state. Ration material will be distributed in bags to 100 beneficiaries per shop with COVID protocol. Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan said that the participation of all public representatives would also be ensured. Ministers, MPs and MLAs will launch the program in their respective areas. A nodal officer for each fair price shop will be appointed by the district collector who will oversee oversee the implementation of this scheme. There will also be a social team for each shop, which will include members of the Crisis Management Committee, Gram Panchayat Secretary, and local prominent citizens. Pooja P. Vardhani, IR News, Bhopal.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that the country's economy is now moving forward and there are clear indications which show that the country is giving a tough fight to the pandemic. Interacting with the beneficiaries of the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana in Uttar Pradesh through video conferencing yesterday, the Prime Minister said that amid the pandemic, our export is at an all-time high and there is record GST collection. The Prime Minister said that we are now in the list of top 10 countries in terms of agriculture exports. He said the government is working to provide benefits to all.
हमारी सरकार का प्रयास है कि हर वर्ग को बिना किसी भेदभाव के योजनाओं का लाभ मिले। योजनाओं का लाभ लेने में ये देखना गलत है कि कौन किस वर्ग का है। यही वजह है कि हमारी सरकार ने सामान्य वर्ग के गरीबों के लिए 10% आरक्षण की पहल की और इसका लाभ आज देश के लाखों सामान्य वर्ग के गरीब उठा रहे हैं।
Taking a dig at the ongoing ruckus in the parliament, the Prime Minister said, just because of their political interest, the opposition is continuously disrespecting the parliament. He said that the parliament cannot become hostage to such people. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman yesterday introduced the Taxation Laws Amendment Bill 2021 in Lok Sabha that seeks to withdraw tax demands made using a 2012 retrospective legislation to tax the indirect transfer of Indian assets. The bill seeks to amend the Income Tax Act of 1961 and the Finance Act of 2012. The bill provides for the withdrawal of tax demand made on indirect transfer of Indian assets if the transaction was undertaken before May 28, 2012, the day the retrospective tax legislation came into being. It is also proposed to refund the amount paid in these cases without any interest thereon. The bill has a direct bearing on long-running tax disputes with British firms Cairn Energy and Vodafone Group.
The Lok Sabha is scheduled to discuss the Taxation Laws Amendment Bill 2021 and the Central Universities Amendment Bill 2021 today. Both the Houses of Parliament will take up private members' legislative business today. In a significant achievement, India's COVID vaccination coverage has crossed 49 crore landmark milestone. More than 50 lakh vaccine doses were administered yesterday. More than 27 lakh vaccine doses were administered as the first dose and more than 4 lakh vaccine doses given as the second dose in the age group 18 to 44 years yesterday. 5 states, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Maharashtra and Uttar Pradesh, have administered more than 1 crore cumulative doses of COVID-19 vaccine in the age group 18 to 44 years. Andhra Pradesh, Assam, Chhattisgarh, Delhi, Haryana, Jharkhand, Kerala, Telangana, Himachal Pradesh, Odisha, Punjab, Uttarakhand and West Bengal have vaccinated more than 10 lakh beneficiaries of the age group 18 to 44 years for the first dose of COVID vaccine.
The COVID situation in Chhattisgarh is improving day by day. The average test positivity rate in the state has come down to 0.2%. More from our Raipur correspondent.
In 27 out of the 28 districts of Chhattisgarh, the infection rate is recorded below 1%. Only Surajpur district has an infection rate of more than 1%. In 3 districts of the state, not a single new case of corona infection was reported yesterday. Besides, no death due to corona infection was reported from 26 districts yesterday. Meanwhile, Chhattisgarh Governor Anusuya Uike provided 10 oxygen concentrator machines and 5 air purifier machines to 9 tribal-dominated districts of the state at a program of the Red Cross Society yesterday. Vikalp Shukla, AIR News, Raipur.
In Odisha, physical teaching for class 9th will resume from the 16th of this month. The School and Mass Education Department has allowed all government-aided and private schools to reopen for class 9th. Students can join physical classes in consultation with the parents and guardians while still having the option of attending online classes. A report.
Schools in Odisha have already reopened for physical teaching for students of class 10th and 12th for the current academic session with effect from the 26th of last month. On the other hand, Odisha government, in association with UNICEF India yesterday, launched a help desk for children affected due to the pandemic. It will provide psychosocial support to children and their parents and caregivers impacted by or due to COVID-19 through telecounseling besides helping children connect with various child protection services and schemes. Meanwhile, the state has been witnessing a sustained decline in Delhi COVID infection with a corresponding reduction in the total active caseload, which now has come down below 14,000. Girish Chandradas, AIR News, Bhubaneswar.
Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin launched a new health scheme yesterday to provide primary health care to the public at their doorsteps. At the function held at Shoolagiri in Krishnagiri district, he said the scheme, called Makkalai Thedi Maruthuvam, makes health facilities to reach the public rather than the people visiting hospitals. Meanwhile, the state witnessed 1,997 new cases of COVID-19 yesterday. 1.58 lakh samples were tested in the last 24 hours. Our correspondent says the state chief minister is expected to review the prevailing COVID situation with medical experts and officials this evening. A report.
The scheme rolled out by the State Chief Minister M.K. Stalin takes primary medical care for non-communicable diseases to the people's doorsteps. It is slated to be expanded to the whole state in phases. The flagship program of the state government has been named Makkalai Thedi Maruthuvam to mean healthcare in search of the public. An allocation of 242 crore rupees has been made for the first phase of the scheme. The Chief Minister said 25,000 medical teams will be formed along with 1,164 women volunteers for it. Physiotherapy is also included in the list of medical care under the scheme. Jai Singh, AIR News, Chennai.
Jammu and Kashmir Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha has launched a new film policy to make the Union Territory a shooting paradise for filmmakers. Speaking on the occasion, Lieutenant Governor said that J&K government is creating a vibrant film ecosystem to bring back the golden era of filmmaking in J&K and transform the UT into the most preferred film destination. He said the new film policy will transform Jammu and Kashmir a cinematographer's delight. Mr. Sinha invited filmmakers from across the world to come to J&K and explore the pristine beauty of Jammu and Kashmir and avail a host of fiscal and non-fiscal incentives besides world-class facilities offered by it. Mr. Sinha added that the government has set up single window clearance mechanism, prepared equipment, location and talent directories, besides offering a host of incentives for filmmakers coming to J&K. The Department of Expenditure, Ministry of Finance has released over 685 crore rupees to 4 states for providing grants to the urban local bodies ULBs. Out of this, 494 crore rupees has been released to Uttar Pradesh, over 110 crore rupees to Gujarat, over 74 crore rupees to Jharkhand and over 6 crore rupees to Mizoram. Grants for urban local bodies have been released as per the recommendations of the 15th Finance Commission. They are aimed at improving basic civic services, including fulfilling location-specific felt needs. These grants are intended for smaller non-million-plus cities, including cantonment boards.
You're listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to interact with heads of Indian missions abroad along with stakeholders of trade and commerce sector today. Government introduces bill in Lok Sabha to scrap retrospective tax law. India achieves another milestone in COVID-19 vaccination, crosses the 49 crore mark. Jammu and Kashmir government launches a new film policy to make the Union Territory a shooting paradise. RBI to announce its bi-monthly monetary policy this morning. India lodges strong protest with Pakistan over violent mob attack on a temple. Haryana government announces 4 crore rupees cash prize and Group A job for Olympic silver medalist Ravi Dahiya. Women's hockey match between India and Britain underway for bronze medal at Tokyo Games, and wrestler Bajrang Punia to kickstart his Olympic campaign today. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts. The Reserve Bank of India will announce its bi-monthly monetary policy today. RBI Governor Shaktikanta Das will announce the monetary policy at 10 a.m. The 3-day meeting of the Monetary Policy Committee began on Wednesday. The MPC, a 6-member team headed by RBI Governor Shaktikanta Das, is in charge of deciding the key policy rates. After the June MPC meeting, the Reserve Bank of India had left the repo rate unchanged at 4%. It was for the 6th time in a row that the MPC maintained the status quo on interest rates.
External Affairs Ministry summoned Pakistan Chartered Affairs and lodged a firm protest expressing grave concerns at the incident of violent mob attack on a Ganesh temple in Rahim Yar Khan in Punjab, Pakistan. India has called upon Pakistan to ensure the safety, security and well-being of its minority communities. Replying to a media query, Ministry spokesperson Arindam Bagchi said, incidents of violence, discrimination and persecution amongst the minority communities, including attacks on places of worship, have continued unabated in Pakistan. The spokesperson said these incidents are occurring at an alarming rate, while the state and security institutions in Pakistan have stood by idly and completely failed in preventing these attacks on the minority communities and their places of worship. India has categorically rejected the reference to the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir issued by the General Secretariat of Organization of Islamic Cooperation, OIC, and termed it unacceptable. In response to the media queries, MEA spokesperson Arindam Bagchi said, OIC has no locus standi in matters relating to Jammu and Kashmir, which is an integral part of India. He reiterated that the OIC General Secretariat should refrain from allowing vested interests to exploit its platform for comments on internal affairs of India.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will preside over a high-level virtual open debate of the UN Security Council on the topic Enhancing Maritime Security, a Case for International Cooperation on 9th of this month. This would be the first time that an Indian Prime Minister would be presiding over a meeting of the UN Security Council. India is currently holding the presidency of the UN Security Council for the month of August. As part of India's presidency, the country is organizing signature events on 3 focus areas. These are maritime security, peacekeeping operations and counter-terrorism. Briefing media, External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Arindam Bagchi said physical meetings are being planned on the other 2 focus areas.
For the month of August, as part of our presidency, we are organizing signature events, as they're called, on 3 focus areas that we've chosen. These are maritime security, peacekeeping operations, and counter-terrorism. On August 9th, this Monday evening, our time, PM will preside over a high-level virtual open debate of the UN Security Council on the topic Enhancing Maritime Security, a Case for International Cooperation, under the agenda item Maintenance of International Peace and Security. This would be the first time that an Indian Prime Minister would be presiding over a meeting of the UN Security Council.
He hoped the External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar would be able to travel to New York to attend them. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman met Tony Abbott, Special Envoy of Australian Prime Minister in New Delhi yesterday and held discussions on various issues of mutual interest. Mr. Abbott complimented India for undertaking comprehensive and sustained reforms program and said that India has continued to demonstrate robust growth despite the disruptive impact of the pandemic. Ms. Sitharaman appreciated the credible progress observed in economic and commercial relations between the 2 countries over the past decade, including elevation of the India-Australia bilateral relationship into a comprehensive strategic partnership. She further highlighted that recent economic reforms and easing of FDI norms in India provide opportunities for Australian investors. The Australian superannuation funds have invested in National Investment and Infrastructure Fund and have been invited to look at various opportunities to invest in Indian infrastructure.
In the run-up to the 75th Independence Day celebrations, we bring you today a special story about development in the education sector in the country. The government has in the last 7 years taken a number of initiatives to boost the education sector. The National Education Policy was launched last year with an aim to transform the existing education system. Prime Minister Narendra Modi had said in June last year that the policy lays the foundation of a new India.
हर देश अपनी शिक्षा व्यवस्था को अपनी नेशनल वैल्यूज के साथ जोड़ते हुए अपने नेशनल गोल्स के अनुसार रिफॉर्म्स करते हुए आगे बढ़ता है। मकसद ये होता है कि देश का एजुकेशन सिस्टम अपनी वर्तमान और आने वाली पीढ़ियों को फ्यूचर रेडी रखें, फ्यूचर रेडी करें। भारत की नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी, राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति का आधार भी यही सोच है।
Our correspondent takes a look at the various initiatives taken by the Centre to provide quality education to all.
Year 2020 witnessed a landmark development in education sector in the form of the new education policy. The policy is a comprehensive framework for elementary to higher education. It also covers vocational training in rural and urban areas. In the past 1 year, online education became the norm for students due to the pandemic. More than 2,300 crore hits on Diksha portal bear testimony to the utility of portals like Diksha and Swayam. Launched in 2014, Swayam envisions extending best quality education to over 3 crore students in India. All training courses are free of cost on Swayam. In 2017, Diksha portal was launched to serve as a dedicated national digital infrastructure for teachers. The platform enables teachers to create training content, in-class resources, profiles, assessment aids, and connect with other teachers more seamlessly. Nishtha 2.0 has been launched recently to provide training to teachers as per their needs, and they will be able to give their suggestions to the department. Suparna Sekhya, AIR News, Delhi.
To mark the 75th year of independence, Gallantry Awards Portal is organizing an event in collaboration with the Armed Forces, Border Roads Organization and National Cadet Corps in 75 cities across the country to pay tributes to the brave hearts who made the supreme sacrifice in the service of the nation. The events are being organized at different locations across the country in the run-up to the Independence Day 2021 from today till 14th of this month. In women's hockey, India lost 3-4 to Great Britain in the bronze medal match. The Indian team trailed 3-4 in the fourth quarter of the match as Grace Balston scored the all-important fourth goal. India took a 3-2 lead going into half-time, but skipper Holly Byrne-Webb soon scored the equalizer for Great Britain. Earlier, the Indian women's hockey team came back from 2 goals down in the second quarter to take a 3-2 lead. However, Gurjeet Kaur scored twice penalty corners to help India draw level. Vandana Katriya then gave India the lead before half-time. In wrestling, Seema Bisla has lost her first match 3-1 against Sarah Hamdi of Tunisia in the pre-quarter-finals of women's freestyle 50 kg category. She now has to wait and see if she gets a chance to play for bronze via a repage. In wrestling, Bajrang Punia will lock horns with Ernazar Akhmatev in men's freestyle 65 kg category. Aditi Ashok, who was tied as second place after 2 rounds, resumed action in the women's individual stroke play round 3. Priyanka Goswami will participate in women's 20-kilometer race walk final at 1 p.m. Gurpreet Singh could not finish his race in men's 50-kilometer race walk final this morning. In athletics, men's 4x400 meters relay team will try their luck in round 1 at 5 p.m.
It was another positive day for the Indian contingent at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, adding 2 more medals to their tally with Indian men's hockey team's historic bronze and Ravi Kumar Dahiya's freestyle silver on day 13. India extended their haul to 5 medals, which includes 2 silver and 3 bronze, and currently are 65th on the table, which continues to be led by China with 34 golds, 24 silvers and 16 bronze medals. Indian men's hockey team rewrote history as it claimed an Olympic medal after 41 years, defeating Germany 5-4 to win the bronze in the playoff match of the ongoing games on Thursday. In men's wrestling, Ravi Kumar won the silver medal in the 57-kilogram category after losing to Russian Olympic Committee's Zavur Uguev 7-4 in the final. In women's wrestling, world number 1 Vinesh Fogart lost the quarter-final bout of the freestyle 53-kilogram category to Vanessa Kalajinski of Belarus by fall. The loss brings an end to Vinesh's hopes of clinching gold in Tokyo. Young Anshu Malik bowed out of the 57-kilogram competition after losing her repechage round 1-5 to Russia's Valeria Koblova, the Rio Olympic silver medalist, ending her hopes of making it to the bronze medal match. In the men's 20-kilometer race walk, Sandeep Kumar, Rahul Rohilla and KT Irfan were the Indian challengers. Of the 3, Sandeep started well and was in the second spot at the halfway stage before losing steam to finish 23rd with a timing of 1 hour, 25 minutes and 7 seconds.
Haryana government has announced 4 crore rupees cash prize for Tokyo Olympic silver medalist Ravi Dahiya. Haryana Chief Minister Manohar Lal Khattar announced that Dahiya will also be rewarded with a Group A job and a plot of land at 50% concession anywhere in the state.
रवि दहिया जिस हिम्मत से, बहादुरी से और जिस तरीके से खेला उसकी मैं बहुत बहुत प्रशंसा करता हूं और उसको बधाई देता हूं कि आखिर हरियाणा के एक वीर सपूत ने और सिल्वर मेडल जो हमको मिला है और अब ये चूंकि सिल्वर मेडल जीत करके आ रहा है तो हरियाणा सरकार जो हमारी अपनी पॉलिसी है क्लास 1 की नौकरी ये उनकी सुनिश्चित की गई है और एक प्लॉट जहां भी हरियाणा में वो चाहे तो 50% की कंसेशन पर वो प्लॉट भी दिया जाएगा। और मैं घोषणा करता हूं कि इनका जो गांव है नाहरी गांव में जो आधुनिक विश्वविद्यालय सुविधाओं से लैस जो है रेसलिंग का एक इंडोर स्टेडियम ये भी बनवाया जाएगा और ताकि ये और खिलाड़ियों को उस प्रकार से इंडोर स्टेडियम में रेसलिंग के गेम के माध्यम से उनको प्रोत्साहन दे सके। और जैसे सिल्वर मेडल का जो हमारा प्राइज है वो 4 करोड़ रुपए का प्राइज है तो 4 करोड़ रुपए की राशि भी ये उनको दी जाएगी।
Meanwhile, Ravi Dahiya said though he came to Tokyo with full preparation to win a gold medal but will have to be content with just silver.
पूरे देशवासियों को हाथ जोड़कर धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगा कि मेरे लिए दुआ करी आप लोगों ने और मैंने अब मैं देखो खुश हूँ पर मतलब संतुष्ट नहीं हूँ क्योंकि देखो मैं गोल्ड के लिए उम्मीद के साथ आया था और हमारी फेडरेशन को मेरे से बहुत ज्यादा उम्मीद थी कि देखो गोल्ड मेडल जीते क्योंकि सिल्वर तो हमने पहले भी जीते हैं तो गोल्ड की उम्मीद से आया था और हमारी फेडरेशन काफी सहयोग कर रही है। देखो मैंने पूरी कोशिश करी अपना 100% तो दिया है।
India will resume their first innings at the overnight score of 125-4 against England in the opening cricket test of the 5-match series at Trent Bridge, Nottingham today. Rishabh Pant and KL Rahul were at the crease when rain stopped play on the second day yesterday. Earlier, England were all out for 183 runs in their first innings on Wednesday. England captain Joe Root won the toss and elected to bat first.
And now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. Srinagar, Jammu, Leh and Gilgit may witness partly cloudy sky. Srinagar, the minimum temperature was 18 degrees, maximum will be 31 degrees. Leh, minimum temperature 14 degrees, maximum 27 degrees. Muzaffarabad, the temperatures will hover between 23 and 36 degrees. The national capital, Delhi, recorded 27 degrees Celsius as minimum, maximum will be around 34 degrees. And Mumbai, 26 and 30 degrees Celsius.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. Dahiya wins silver, hockey men clinch historic bronze. These are some of the lead headlines in today's newspapers. Celebrating the climb of the Indian hockey team on the podium after 41 years, the Hindu headline reads, "You have made us proud, boys." With some improvement in the overall COVID-19 situation in India, going to London, big relief as UK shifts India from red to amber list, informs the Asian Age. In a bid to scrap the 9-year-old controversial retrospective taxation, Centre buries retro taxes bill to nix demand on care and Vodafone, writes the Pioneer. With benchmark stock indices scaling fresh peaks, retail ownership in NSE-listed companies at all-time high is a lead in the Economic Times. And finally, in an effort to get the original pearl white shine back, for first time, Taj's main dome to get mud pack for 6 months, informs the Times of India.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to interact with heads of Indian missions abroad along with stakeholders of trade and commerce sector today. Government introduces bill in Lok Sabha to scrap retrospective tax law. India achieves another milestone in COVID-19 vaccination, crosses 49 crore mark. Jammu and Kashmir government launches a new film policy to make the Union Territory a shooting paradise. RBI to announce its bi-monthly monetary policy this morning. India lodges strong protest with Pakistan over violent mob attack on a temple. Haryana government announces 4 crore rupees cash prize and Group A job for Olympic silver medalist Ravi Dahiya. Britain beat India 4-3 to clinch bronze in women's hockey at Tokyo Games. And wrestler Bajrang Punia match underway his Olympics campaign today. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.gov.in and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.